All right. I'm a co-founder of AV Express Placement. Um, this is a free event that we are hosting. Like I spoke with our speakers for today. It's completely free for everyone to join. It's just an opportunity for us to give out our knowledge, what we know. As you can see, I'm here with my notebook, so I'm also here to learn. All right. So let's give a few minutes for more people to join before we get started. All right. I will be sharing the program. I'll be sharing the program. This is okay. Can you guys see my window?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so this is what we have: introduction. I'm waiting for 10 minutes, and then after this, we'll just go straight into business. We don't want to waste too much time, so we'll not waste too much time. We'll go straight into hearing from our speakers. Okay, I understand everybody has what he has prepared. As you can see from the program, class presentation is going to last 50 minutes, where each speaker is going to get 10 minutes to present. Okay, we have five speakers. I can see three online so far. So hopefully, okay, four. There's only one person that is yet to come in. Hopefully, before the 10 minutes waiting is over, he's going to join us. After that, we'll have the opportunity for everyone to ask his or her questions. In the meantime, while the speakers are talking, if you have any questions that pops up, you can just send it on the chat so that immediately after the speakers are finished talking, we can start reading the questions. Okay, because you might tend to forget. But the best thing is to come with your notebook like I did. That way you won't forget anything. You will go away with a lot of knowledge. All right. So before we get started, I want to appreciate our speakers. I see Ahmad. Thank you so much for coming. I see Soumia. Also welcome. Thank you for coming. I see Victor and I see Tasmeena. All right. Those are the four of our speakers that are present. I appreciate you for gracing us with your presence. We still have one more. Okay, he just requested to join. Adamada. Welcome, Adamada. I was just talking about the speakers, so we are complete. Thank you for coming. All right, so we have 5 more minutes to just wait a bit for more to join. So before people join, let me tell us about our organization, AV Express Placement. It's actually a company. All right. Initially, we started it as a way to is a company that helps people secure admissions. All right. So we have partnership with some schools, especially schools in the UK, where we secure admissions for people. That's if you are funding yourself, it's not scholarship based. We help you prepare your statement of purpose. We do your academic CV. We find, we submit your applications and all of that. Then the idea came on that okay, why not we give back? It's not all about in this life. It's not all about money. Okay, at least that's what I believe. If you have an opportunity to give back to people, um, you should take the opportunity. So I set out finding people, scholars that are willing to do that with me. You know, these are speakers. I want all of us to appreciate them before we leave because they are not being paid for this. Okay, and as you know, life these days is very very busy, especially for them that are currently on enrolled, right, in school. There's a lot of things that they have to put aside to make time to come here. So we appreciate you guys. All right, we have 4 minutes, so just gonna quietly the next 4 minutes and allow people to join, then get started. Thank you once again. Mhm. 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 Hey, hello once again, everyone. Um, this time, so we're gonna go straight into the business. Okay, our first speaker is gonna be Tasmeena. All right, Tasmeena is a Chevening scholar currently studying in the UK. He's a associate at HMCO into banking and finance. Does more of project banking. He's a gold medalist. All right. Tasmina, can you hear me clearly? Are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Okay. I'm gonna give the floor to you so that you introduce yourself very well the way you wish to introduce yourself, and then present to us what you have to present. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. So, as he has mentioned that I'm Tasmeena, I'm from Pakistan, and I have got the gold medal. I received two gold medals, but it does not it does not matter if you're applying for Chevening, because Chevening does not want you to have gold medal. So that was just based on my personal experience. I have 4 years of experience. Chevening requires you to have 2 years of experience, post graduation experience. So I have worked as a banking and finance lawyer back in Pakistan, and now I am on a fully funded scholarship, which means, those who do not know, it covers everything. So you do not even have to spend a penny on anything, because everything will be covered: your tickets, your tuition fee. And what would be best than studying at one of your university choices, anywhere you want in the UK, Scotland, anywhere, without paying anything. So I would want to just start with my presentation, because I think we like, everyone has 10 minutes. So can you just I don't know why I'm unable to share it. Can you
Okay,
please?
let me. I think let me check this. The things. Okay. Okay, you should be able to share now. Coming up.
No, it's not coming up.
Okay. Let me just share from my end.
Exactly, please. So let me tell you that we have to do 4 essays in order to pass the initial application process. For that, you will have to talk about your leadership skills. You have to talk about your networking skills. You have to tell them that why do you want to study in the UK, and it must be linked with your career plans, and then the so you have to you have to write 4 essays, and it should reflect what FCDO or what the UK government wants from you. It should be aligned with their goals. Is the screen shared? Because still I cannot see it.
Yeah, I
Is
have one now.
okay. So let me talk about do's and don'ts. First, we will start with the leadership skill. So what should you shouldn't do? If you can move the slide. So first thing is that you do not need to just copy paste the general leadership definitions into your essay. As you know that you will have only 300 words, so you have to use it very meticulously. So what you can do here is, instead of just copy pasting your general definition, you can tailor your definition according to your experiences. For example, you have exercise leadership skill at one of your workplaces, or you help someone which created an immense impact on someone's life, and there you were able to demonstrate your leadership skills. So what you can do, use that example, and by using that example, tailor your own leadership example. For example, that is what I do. I told them that I have co-founded Karachi University Lawyers Forum for Women. How did I do that? I'm a problem solver. I'm a conflict, whenever there's a conflict, I solve it. This is one of the skills that a leader should have. If you can move to the another slide. Again, avoid vague and general examples. You do not need to do that. And what you need to do instead, now the word count is just 300 words. So you have to use one strong example, and you have to use the STAR approach. What is a STAR approach? It's situation, task, action, result. Another thing very important that I want to tell you, everything is there on the Chevening website. So you just have to go and check as much possible, because everything is there. You'll be seeing things about a STAR approach. So you will have better clarity. So please do your own research as well. So you'll come across some situation, and there was this some difficult task that you wanted to do, but how that task can be achieved? It can be achieved by your action, what actions you took. Maybe you organize something that help achieve you some result. For example, you organized or you co-founded any institution, and the result was many people are associated with that thing. So that is the result, right? So use the STAR approach, and should be broad. It must have shown them that it affected the lives of the people. It should not be something very minimal, very small. So that is all you need to do. Like I said, that it does not need to be dramatic. It could be small but meaningful. Means resolving a conflict, reading a project, or enabling others to benefit. This is what they want to see. Are you benefiting other people? And this can be demonstrated by your example. Then we'll go to the second slide. If you can move that. We have the networking. So what you don't need to do in the networking, do not use your small scale examples, meeting a friend, casual network. No, you do not need to do this here. What you need to do here is instead use your professional or academic networking skills. For example, you can tell them that you went to some of the seminars, you went to some of the projects, or you went somewhere where you met someone you wanted to meet that person. And then use those specific words. For example, tell them that how you met that person. Did you struggle for that? Maybe that person is very top notch, and it was hard for you to meet them. but you made efforts. How did you make efforts? Maybe you reached them on LinkedIn, maybe you contacted them on email, you had this struggle and then you faced it again. For the two essays, networking and the leadership, you need to show the star approach. So you need to, for these specific, you have to show them a star approach. And again, how it just not it did not just benefit you, it benefited the community at larger. For example, I have told them that, I was the one who is coming from a middle background, and I had this urge to enter into a top tier law firms. But again, I was the part of first cohort, so I did not have many connections, but I got connected with one of the person who got me interviewed in one of the best law firms in Pakistan. And then by entering there, I was able to arrange a platform or a seminar where I benefited a lot of the people by my that seminar, by arranging that seminar. This is how the networking should be. You don't just benefit yourself, you benefited the community, and how you will benefit the Chevening. So you have to connect everything with that. If we can move to the next slide, that is study in the UK. What you don't need to do here, it's very tricky. So you have to select three universities and you have to get into those universities as well. So you do not need to just jump into the best world's universities, because it's tricky. If you do not get into those universities, it will be, your scholarship will be at risk. So what you can do, you can use a middle tier university and later you can change it. You have this option to change your universities before interview. So this approach can keep your application phase. And again, don't just use generalized words. Instead, use specific modules, like what do you want to achieve. If you want to do, like for example, I wanted to do something with the data protection law, so I give that specific laws, like I want to study digital rights, privacy and security. Why? Because this will help me understand the privacy issues, that I can go back to Pakistan and help them. So you have to use these things. What you need to do also, you have to specify the names of the professor. Again, do research. You have to do research if you want to achieve something. So go to the modules, go to the professors who are teaching them, who is the well renowned teacher in that specific professor in that specific area. Mention them, mention societies, that I want to use this society so that I can get the skills, and I then can then use them to benefit my country. So this is all you have to do. Also, you can also mention the fun fact, like I told them that I want to go to the Christmas market. I love, because in Pakistan we do not have these Christmas festives, so I really want to do that. The last, if you can move the slide, the last is the career plan. For me, it is the most difficult part, because it took me a lot of the time to just think what, because here what you have to do, you do not need to tell them very unclear, unambiguous goals. You have to tell them that within 2 years, 5 years, this is my short term, I want to do this, and in 10 years I want to do this. It should depict that you have the solid career plan. For that, what you need to do, you need to identify gaps. What is the gap that you have in your country? Specify that what is something that no one is working on, because that makes your application very novel. There will be very general topics people do got a scholarship, but I would suggest to find the novel thing, so that they will say that if you are not going to get this scholarship, they are going to fail. Because this is the purpose, right? That they want to provide you the equip you, they want to equip you so that you can go back and like for your country and help them. Also link it everything with FCDO, like see what FCDO is doing in your country. Everything is available on the website. See if they're doing anything. If yes, then mention that. If they're not doing anything, that tell them that I want to be the reason that they want to work on my things. And lastly, again, how you can benefit from these programs and how your future work will contribute to the country's development. So these are the four essays. I hope I have finished within the timeline. Later, I can meet you when
Okay.
you have questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you just sticking to time. Okay. I'm going to move to the next speaker, but I've jotted questions that I will be addressing to you after speakers have spoken. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So, our next speaker for the event is going to be Soumia. Soumia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name properly. Okay. We arranged initially it's supposed to be Anna,
Hello.
but we want to go with Soumia because she has a bit of an engagement right
Yeah,
after this. Okay. So if immediately you finish, we'll ask you one or two questions and we'll excuse you to go and attend to what you have. Then I think the rest of our speakers will be able to answer all the questions that we have in your absence.
yeah, sure. I'm glad there are other Chevening scholars here. They can answer the questions while I'm
Yeah.
not here.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of a technical hiccup for the people here. My camera is not behaving, so I'll be voice only, but I believe my voice will be more than enough to share the tips I've got for you today. First of all, hello everyone. My name is Soumia, and I'm a Chevening scholar from Algeria. Since you're here today, I believe you have either already applied for the scholarships or you are planning to apply next year. Either way, you are truly welcome, and I'm very glad you've joined this session. Before I begin, I just want to mention that we need, again, I know Albert said it already, but we need to leave around 4 p.m. as I have a meeting with my project teammates. It's the final week before the holidays, and we are all overwhelmed with assignments, deadlines, and tests. I tried to reschedule, but they couldn't change the time due to their part time jobs. But no worries, I'll do my best to share everything that I believe will genuinely help you with your Chevening application. Over the past few months, I've received great number of questions on LinkedIn about Chevening since I posted the officially Chevening Scholar. Questions like how do I apply? Well, before I start answering the questions, please take notes. Uh, they asked about how they can apply. What did you write in your essays? Can you review my essay? Questions like that. So today I want to give you the tips that may help with your Chevening application and interview. First off, I will talk about the essays. Most candidates who sent me their essays made the same mistake. They didn't respect the structure. Chevening essays require a clear academic layout, like a strong introduction, organized body paragraphs, and a concise conclusion. So do make sure to respect that. Structure matters because it demonstrates clarity of thought and good communication skills. And if you don't respect that, it's like you don't know how to write an essay, and this is very critical. Another thing is Chevening essays are not motivational letters. They are analytical reflections on your leadership, your networking ability, your career plan, and your course choices. You must take your real experiences and transform them into strong, coherent leadership stories. To do this effectively, you need to understand how to turn a simple experience into evidence of impact. Personally, before applying for Chevening, I had already completed 3 academic English courses, which really helped me understand how to write in a structured and analytical way and turn my experiences into something of impact. Another thing that I would suggest you do is respect the character limit. This is very crucial. If the limit is 300 characters, you must stay within the 300 characters. Do not exceed it. Characters are not the same as words, which makes this part slightly challenging, but there are plenty of online tools you can use. Just make sure you check with more than one tool. You can find them on Google, they are for free, but not check with only one tool to calculate the number of characters you've used. Check with multiple tools because since they are for free, they're not accurate. So be careful. The Chevening panel reviews the character count before reading your essays. So if you exceed the limit, they won't read it at all and you will receive a rejection. So please be careful when it comes to that. Also, remember the character limit changes every year. Sometimes it's 300, sometimes 400, other times 500. So always double check. In my year, it was 500, but I believe this year it was 300 as I reviewed some essays and some people asked me about it, and it was 300 instead of 500. So be careful. The third thing that I'm going to mention as a tip is the use of AI and ChatGPT. Let me be honest, ChatGPT is an excellent tool. It can help with everything, but not with the essays. I suggest you do not use it for your essay. There are certain expressions and patterns AI tend to use, and I can personally, me myself, detect them just by reading. If I can imagine the panel. They are experienced readers, so they can detect whether you are using AI or not. So be careful. They can immediately spot it with their eyes without using AI detectors. So you have to be careful when you use ChatGPT or don't use it at all. You need to use your own words. In the UK, AI detection tools are already very developed. My professors mention them all the time. And even for our assignments, they keep mentioning that we do not use AI for our assignments. Now, I think I've given the tips according to the questions that the common questions that I've received on LinkedIn. Now, moving on to the interview, I'll be very honest with you. I didn't prepare well for it, but I barely prepared at all. I only, had 1 or 2 days because my interview was scheduled right after Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr, which is an Islamic events. And if you are Algerian, you know what Ramadan looks like in Algeria. It's intense, busy, and definitely not the ideal time to prepare for anything. Even if it was studying. And when in Ramadan, we are more focused on worshiping Allah and being closer to Allah, reading Quran instead of doing anything else. But I wasn't too stressed about the interview because I understood that the interview would simply be about me, my experiences, my projects, my essays. It's very similar to a job interview where you talk about what you have done and who you are. And I've done lots of job interviews before Chevening. That's why I felt like it wasn't something new to me. Like I had experience answering questions and being open. So I wasn't stressed at all. I was so confident. And honestly, the interview turned out to be much better than I expected. The Chevening Secretariat members were incredibly friendly. I didn't feel judged or pressured. It felt like a normal conversation with kind people I had just met. I was relaxed and I genuinely enjoyed the experience. Chevening in interviews usually last between 25 to 30 minutes, sometimes up to 45 minutes, but mine lasted a full hour and I didn't even notice the time passing. So nothing strange or unexpected. Everything was connected to my own journey. I genuinely felt that if you reach the interview stage, about 70% of the work is already done. It's like you are a Chevening scholar, like 70% a Chevening scholar. The interview is about 30% of the Chevening journey. And honestly, I think I only gave it about 10% effort because I didn't have much time for preparation. But the truth is, when your essays are strong, authentic, and clear, the interview becomes easy because you already know your own story. And we as humans, we automatically love talking about ourselves. So if someone asks us to talk about ourselves or ask us questions about ourselves, then this is basically the easiest question that we might be able to answer. And we love talking about ourselves. So it's like when you go to the interview, it's a great opportunity to open up and talk about your challenges, talk about your experience, your personal story, what you have
Meet up.
written in your essays.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your time is up. Uh, Okay, I believe we have Ahmed and Tasmia. Tasmina, they are both Chevening scholars as well, because I've written down two questions here as well that I will like to answer. I would like an answer to from what you have said, but we can excuse you since you have an engagement. And during the question and answer session, I will direct these questions, the two of them. Okay, thank you so much for squeezing time. Like I said, I know how busy things are, and we appreciate having you here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, moving on. Ahmed, are you here? Okay, can you
Yeah,
hear us?
yeah.
Okay, good afternoon. How is studies?
Thank you so much. For first of all, hello for everyone. I'm very happy to be here among you smart and nice people and my Chevening scholar friends. The thing is that they talked about many things, they made our job easy. And I was
Yeah,
checking every single thing that I noted to mention, so they reflect on much of them. So I'm very happy and relaxed from the start. And to have a brief introduction of myself, I'm Ahmed Niyazi from Afghanistan, an architect from Afghanistan. And I've had over 2 years of experience, one during the studies, another after studies. And beside that, I was teaching English language as a second language there back in Afghanistan. And beside that, I applied for Chevening, and fortunately now I'm a Chevening scholar from the cohort 2025-2026. And the thing that I noted to talk about today will generally be general tips, the things that I wanted to share. So, starting with the first one. The first one that most of the applicants ask me about is having a IELTS or TOEFL score at the first stage. Is it essential or necessary for achieving and securing Chevening or not? Well, the truth is that in order to apply for the Chevening scholarship, especially the first two phases or stages, you don't need IELTS or TOEFL score, because the first round is technically writing your essays and submitting them, and the second is joining the interview and some answering the questions. So in these two stages, you don't need TOEFL or IELTS. But when it comes to the third and last stage, you have to apply for the admission for the UK universities. So that is the exact moment that you will need to show the proof of your English fluency certificate. So at the first stages, don't worry, don't stretch out yourself too much. If you don't have the certificate yet and your English is quite good, at least you're in the intermediate level, then you're good to go and apply for the scholarship. The second thing is the some kind of confusion and misunderstanding happened to me while I was applying. I thought with myself that there's no chance for the people who want to study in technical fields. So I saw many Chevening scholars, even from my own country and from other countries, that they were studying in political and development and policy fields. So none of them were somehow studying in technical fields like engineering, architecture, or urban planning. So I could not see the chance for myself that much. But fortunately, now I'm here and speaking to you as a person who is studying in sustainable architecture. And the second thing is that when you want to apply, don't overwhelm yourself by saying things that I would not win or I could not secure this scholarship at my first attempt, because that is not the standard. That is not the thing that you have to compare yourself with. That the thing that is important is your story, your background, and the way you express yourself. Even if it is your first attempt or first time applying, you will get accepted. And the third thing is that delete the resume or CV voice from your essays. Well, as Soumia mentioned, this year, all of us, we were collaborating and helping with the Chevening applicants and reviewing and giving feedback on their essays. So many of their essays were looking exactly the same like like a CV or resume. So somebody would say that I have done into 2017 this, in 2018 this, just a bunch of accomplishment and nothing else. There was no reflection, there was no explanation, there was no further detail. So don't do that, because you're not supposed to write a CV, or as Soumia said, you're not supposed to write a motivational letter. It is an ethical reflection letter that is talking about yourself, about your accomplishment, but not all of them. You just have to go with the structure that is accepted and mentioned in the Chevening website. So go with that one. And the next thing that is important, you have to transform your sentences from being abstract to something specific, because Chevening does not like the cliches and general statements, because many candidates would write things like, I want to go for Chevening, get the scholarship, have my study, return back to my country, and improve or develop the economic situation of my country. Well, that is a good intention, to be honest, if somebody have that, but it is very broad. It's something like a cliche. Everybody wants that, but you have to have a very clear plan for that. So you have to reflect on that and mention that, not just say that I want to improve my country's education or my country's economic. You have to say how would you do that. So that's important, and that's the only thing that will make you different among other applicants. And the next thing that is important is about the interviews. So when it comes to interview, for those who have accomplished and secured the first round, they have to go through a second interview, and this interview will be different from case by case to different countries. Some of the applicants are supposed to go through the online interview, the online version. Others should go to the in-person version. And when it comes to interview, you have to practice beforehand. You have to have mock interviews with your friends, with your family members, with your colleagues, and even with the Chevening alumni, with Chevening scholars, because I am sure enough that the Chevening core values revolve around networking and about helping each other. So when you ask one of the Chevening scholars, they will definitely help you, and they will have a mock interview with you. They will give you feedback, because without the feedback and without having a mock interview, uh, although if you have written very strong essays, you may not be able to express them correctly and in the way that you want. So practice makes perfect. That's the only thing that I can say about it. And yeah, that's all the thing that I noted here.
Thank you so much. Right on time. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ahmed. It's nice to have you here again. I really appreciate the views you have shared. I also have a few questions, so kindly be around during the question and answer so that we'll get these answers. Okay, so those three speakers that have spoken are the Chevening scholars that we have on ground. Okay, Tasmeena, open the floor. Thank you so much for your presentation. Soumia, I don't know if she's still around. She also presented and I jotted a lot. Okay, like I shared in the beginning, I'm here with my notes. I'm taking notes. There are a lot of things, a lot of value here. So now we are going to go a different route. All right, we have people that have secured other scholarships outside traveling. Okay. Victor, can you hear me? If you are here, can you just unmute yourself? We have Victor. He's an alumni of the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. Okay, he's a mathematician and a personal friend of mine. Victor, if you are here, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Albert, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Uh, Great. Thank you very much. Let me do this. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen real quick. I see we do not have enough time. Just do that real quick. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
Not coming up.
Can you see it now?
No.
Interesting. Great. Technology can be disappointing at times.
That's what I'm telling you. And I've checked it on the host controls. Everyone can share screen and reaction.
It's okay. Do you mind if the next person go next while I figure out what is wrong with my
Okay,
application?
okay, fantastic. Before you sort that out, um, we have Adamada Joel. Okay, Adamada, if you are here, you can hear me. He's also a scholar of the NAE foreign scheme. Right, he's studying in the UK. He's also a mathematician that has, I think he has switched into engineering. So he's now into petroleum engineering. I don't know whether if you are there, can you hear us? You can unmute.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry. I was away to just get some coffee. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello once again, everyone. Uh, my name is Adam Joel. Uh, uh, I'm together with Victor and Athanasius, graduated in Futi. I studied mathematics, industrial mathematics to be specific, and I switched to petroleum engineering for my master's. So I've completed my master's sometimes January 2024, and I've been in the energy sector, focusing on regulation and compliance and energy modeling. So might just go a different route entirely, maybe give a kind of generic scholarship insights, and then with few focus on the scholarship that took me to the UK. So first of all, if you want to study abroad, just the first question I want to bring up is, why do you want to study abroad? And that will be fundamental to the path you will follow in trying to get a scholarship. Are you just desiring to study abroad to enhance your skills, or are you choosing to relocate entirely? These two fundamental questions will determine what type of scholarship, what country, what requirements you will be needing. Another aspect of that is if you have determined where you're going to study or what you want to study or why you're trying to study abroad, then you go for the next thing for the requirements that you require. So I know maybe a majority of this audience might be Nigerian, so permit me if I use more Nigerian context for that. Yeah, but generally they might apply to any other country. So the requirements, I guess, first of all, you need to get your transcript at hand. You need to get your international passport for most cases. You need English language proficiency, which you can get from your university by applying for certificate of English language proficiency, or you can write IELTS or other English language requirements. These are fundamental, and you also need maybe at least 3 of your lecturers who you are conversant with, who are ready to give references for you, because trust me, you will disturb them much in the journey of scholarship. So that is fundamental to what you need. So for the types of scholarship you might need to apply, there are very different scholarship categories. I was a beneficiary of Polish government scholarship known as NEA, and Nigerian Ajib Exploration Foreign Scholarship, and ex-PTDF scholar. But I've not used the NAWA government scholarship because I choose to use the Ajib oil. So there are different scholarships and different requirements. They can be government body scholarship, like maybe PTDF in Nigeria or other countries scholarship that are government. They can be foreign government scholarships, things like the art, Germany, Men's, Japanese, Fulbright Scholarship, USA, UK Research and Innovation, UKRI for UK. Sometimes they call it Engineering and Physical Sciences Scholarship. They also have others like Commonwealth, both shared and Commonwealth Master Scholarship, or even the Chevening Scholarship. So that will bring you back to the question of, why do you want to study abroad? Are you relocating, or you just want to study? Like Chevening, you are mandated to go back to your country. Commonwealth, you're also mandated to go back to your country after study. So you need to know why. If your intention is relocating, then you might need to not apply for scholarships that have a clause where you are required to go back to your country. And then there are also corporate giants that give scholarship as part of their corporate social responsibilities, just like my case. Ajib Oil scholarship is part of corporate social responsibilities of Ajib Oil, though I think it's now defunct because Ajib Oil has been taken over by Owando in Nigeria. So you might watch out for Owando scholarships. And then you have also international corporates like Mastercard, which my friend Victor is part of it, or Gates and Melinda Foundation at Cambridge University and Oxford University. They have this scholarship. So it's either government, foreign government, or your government or corporates, both national and global ones. So in terms of maybe other requirements, you might need to take advantage of your academic background is very strong and important in most of the scholarships. To be frank, your good academic background makes up for more than 50% of your chances of getting scholarship. Then the others you can enhance ways of getting scholarship is through membership of professional bodies, getting number of publications related to your field, completing online courses, learnings with certifications, experiences that will be able to help you if you're intending for PhD studies, then places like the US doesn't consider your master's very much. It doesn't add anything to it. Your first degree can give you a PhD in the US, unlike other places like EU and UK that require your master's. So I think these are the highlights. And in terms of statement of purpose, that is the one of the biggest requirement when you're considering places like USA, Canada. So you need to understand the context of your background, how your previous learnings and certifications and all those things contribute to the course you are requiring. Why are you applying to this school? Do they have the resources? Do they have the faculties to support you? These are the kind of things that you will require in your statement of purpose. And finally, I guess you might need to be able to work with some people, so many of them on LinkedIn, like Olumuyiwa, so many renowned people on LinkedIn that do statement of purpose exposes. That will help you to be able to develop your statement of purpose. So that's generic about the scholarship tips I've jotted down. My experiences, I wish I have known the cost of relocating fully before I relocated. Yeah, so nobody will tell you that very well, but then sit down to count the cost of why you actually want to relocate. But yeah, uh, it's one of the things that Ignatius jotted. So do I regret it? Yeah, I don't regret it, but I wish I counted the cost entirely. So uh, it's good for you to know there's a cost implication, not monetarily, that there's a cost implication that maybe money might not cover. So you need to take into account those kind of things. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know that this part of cost that you mentioned is very, very important because this is something that many people don't discuss. I have a friend of mine that relocated to, I think it's Germany, and then after a year or so, he came back to Nigeria because he felt he was paying too much, not necessarily financially, like you said, but that life there is so different from what is from what we have here that he felt it is important that he return. So, if you are here in this group, this meeting, and you are thinking of relocating, like he said in his talk, why do you want to study abroad? Is it because you want to gain some knowledge and then come back and improve yourself, maybe improve your earnings in your country or improve the way they do things? Like me, I'm an architect as well. Same with Ahmed. So actually, I'm very happy that you are here, Ahmed. You talked about why it's difficult for people, or people perceive that it's difficult to get a professional course, a scholarship for a professional course. Because the whole idea that I have personally, if I'm going to study abroad, is to come back and correct the errors we are having here in Nigeria. I don't know if you guys have ever come across news in Nigeria, but in Lagos, one of our major cities, we keep on having issues of buildings falling. You know, schools. I think every 2 years we have a situation where a secondary school falls, and students either lose their life or get injured, not terribly. So those are the kind of things that we need to correct, right? And I believe especially in Europe, they have buildings that are hundreds, if not thousands of years old, that are still standing. So there must be something that they are doing right that we are not doing properly. For your building of 10 years to collapse, and then they have a building of 500 years, I think there's something to learn there. All right. So if you are relocating, you should count the costs emotionally, intellectually, financially, whatever the cost is. And then if you are going to study and come back, know exactly what you are going there to learn, all right, and come back. We are currently using a free version of this Google Meet, so it will soon end. Immediately it ends, just click the link and come back again. Okay. If you are here, you can hear me clearly. If the call ends, just click on the link, come back again. Victor, you can get started. If it ends, just click back the link and then you can continue. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Albert. I think the meeting is going to end in maybe 45 seconds per se, but I will just get started. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
What about now? Can you see my?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Scholarship application.
Oh, great, fantastic. Hi everyone. I believe all my, my co-speakers have touched on let's say everything. Especially Adamada has given like the general overview of what the scholarship application, the requirements, and what you need to do. But I would like to deep dive into the one I got, which is Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. So these are going to be my objective. I'll just quick talk about the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, my background, my experience, the lessons, and some tips for prospective applicants, people who want to apply. So first of all, the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. The Mastercard Foundation is a non-governmental organization. They partner with various universities across the continent. In fact, we have them in Canada, the UK, Africa. So they have something we call the Scholars Program, which they have with these universities. So in each of their partner universities, they have the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, which means that with every university, there's going to be a slightly different requirement when you're applying. So my background, before the Mastercard Foundation Scholar, I only hold one thing, which is my bachelor's degree in industrial mathematics.
The call is ending in a few seconds.
Okay.
Let's just click the link and come back. Then we continue.
Okay.
Sunday, Sami, you just joined. The call is about to end in a few seconds. Just click the link and come back. Then our last speaker will give us what he has for us, and then we'll have our question and answer. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, everyone.
Great.
Come back. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, the people are still joining. Let's give them 2 minutes. We have 20 people. I think about 10 people are yet to join back. So we can continue before they join us. So can you hear me? I think you're mute.
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. Okay. Okay, so I was just giving a brief intro about my background. So before I got the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, I just graduated with my bachelor's degree in industrial mathematics. Amanda Adamada that just spoke earlier. We were in the same department, the same course. So while I graduated, I did not know what I wanted to do. I had no job, nothing. I just thought, okay, fine. I would like to go for my master's degree in data science, but I don't have any funding. Luckily for me, I got the AIMS scholarship, the Mastercard Foundation scholarship under the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, which happens to be one of the partner university for the Mastercard Foundation. And after that, I got my master's in data science. Good. And I also became the Scholars Council representative for my institution. And currently, I'm a member of the Mastercard Foundation Youth Advisory Council and also one of the Nigerian Alumni Network leaders. So my full scholarship experiences. First of all, when I got my scholarship, I got a fully funded support in terms of the tuition was covered, the accommodation covered, internet covered, books, stipend, travels, any other study-related expenses. So with that, I was able to focus on my academics, my thesis and all, like full focus. They gave me everything that I needed, even the feeding and all. And that was very, very good and really instrumental to my academic journey back then. And aside that, they gave us the leadership and professional development. We had courses on entrepreneurship, we had leadership training, we did some community engagement. So all those extra things were really, really, really instrumental and eye-opening for me. We also had other holistic supports like academic advising, mentorship. We had mentors in the on the campus. We also had guidance and all, which they really helped. I think it's one core thing that the foundation likes to implement in their scholars program. We also have global support. Today we have what we call the Baobab platform. If you're a scholar, you have to have an account there so you can connect with your global peers. That's the likes of people that have gotten the scholarship in other universities like Cambridge University, this one in Canada. Like everybody that have gone through the scholars program have an account there. You can meet with them, discuss projects if you want to, and other opportunities that may arise as at that. Also, we also have some post-scholarship engagement. The foundation, whenever they want to strengthen their scholars, the scholars alumni, there are some developmental funds like entrepreneurship. If you want to dive into entrepreneurship, the foundation can support you through some of their programs that are tailored towards the Mastercard Foundation alumni. So it's really, really a very good experience if you have a Mastercard Foundation scholarship. So just to give some of the tips that made me got the scholarship. The first one is you tell your personal story. Like don't just pick any story. Tell your personal story, what you want to do, what you've done in the past, why you're really applying for this scholarship. I believe Adamada has already given a very, very good thing that why do you want the scholarship? You can put that there. Also, show evidence of leadership. That's very, very important. I think that's something that some of us might be looking like skipping through when we are applying for these things. Leadership experience is very important. And if you're a Nigerian here, you know that you've gone through NYSC. Do not overlook that. Going through NYSC, you must have had your CDS, all this leadership, this thing, all this community service giver. Yeah, you can pick those things and frame it in such a way that it gives you that leadership experience that they're looking for. So you can add that to your application letter or statement of purpose, irrespective of what they're looking for. The next one is give back, commitment to give back. It's very key. These two things are very key to the Mastercard Foundation application. Leadership, evidence of leadership, and the second one is commitment to give back. We all did CDS. If you're in Nigeria, you've gone to NYC. You will now know that we've done community development program or giving back to the community. If you're in different clubs, can be health club, whatever club you are, it's also a form of community development. Add that to your listing to boost your application and chances. Also, highlight your academic excellence or what you've done. Even if you got A in a particular course, I like that. If you got a 5.0 in that, I like that, just to boost it. And one more thing that is very important is to research the partner university. And why I'm saying this is that I came from the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences. Those in Cambridge, we definitely have a slightly different experience in terms of application. The application portal is different completely. The requirement is different completely. I think one of the requirements from Cambridge, I'm not sure for the Mastercard, but I heard about that. It's that you need to have, if not first class, to be able to get a slot. In fact, you will get a chance at getting that, but it's a different case for other applications in other partner institutions. So please do well to research the partner university you are trying to apply to, so you can get the maximum chance of getting the scholarships. So one of the key lessons too that I would like to share is that preparing early actually very helps, because I remember when the scholarship came out, I've been hearing about it before I even graduated. My uncle told me about the African Institute for Mathematical Science, that I should try and apply for it, and which I did immediately it came out. And that really helped me to, kind of do prepare my answers to some of the questions they've asked, and I was able to tailor it according to what they're looking for. Another one is also academic requirement varies from different universities. Yeah, of course, those at Science Po is going to be different from those with AIMS, and the courses that they also takes varies. In at the African Institute for Mathematical Science, it's just mathematics, computer science, and statistics, something related. If you are in food science and you want that scholarship, you have to try other partner institutions that offers that. And also, your story is much more important than your grade. Yeah, you have 5.0, but if you don't tell your story well, if you don't make it right, if you don't tell that story as important as it is, you might end up not getting it. So please try as much as possible to tell your story well. Also, they really want people who wants to give back now, not those who are planning to give back in the future. That's the essence of having this community service while you are still a scholars. We do that. We also have what we call Scholars Day of Service, where we go out to the community, we decide a project among ourselves and try to give back to that community. Another one is also let your past connect to your future. So whatever you've experienced in the past and what you're trying to achieve in the future, let them jive, let them connect together. And last but not the least, very important, you must understand the foundation value. These are very easy to look up. Just go on the internet, search for the Mastercard foundation values, try to align them to what you're trying to achieve in the future, and try to make them uh, visible and reflect in your application. So that is basically it. Thank you very much for listening. The Mastercard Foundation Scholars has really helped me to achieve where I am today. As I said again, I've been able to get opportunities as a result of being a scholar. Today, if I want to go into entrepreneurship, when their application comes out, I can easily reach out and also be a beneficiary of their new program. So that will be all. Thank you very much, Albert. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Victor. I really appreciate having you here. Thank you for sharing. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, I
I'm
was
done.
muted. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Victor. We appreciate having you here. We thank you for sharing what you have on Mastercard. Sorry, I'm trying to write a question down so that I don't forget it. Yeah. Okay, I appreciate you. Everyone that has spoken, we say thank you. There's a lot of knowledge that I've gotten. Okay, so let me do a quick recap. Okay, our first speaker, Tasmina, she talked about, I just have a lot, but I think I'll just point one or two things that I did not, I have no, I had no idea about before coming here. I picked up. She mentioned that in traveling, it is important to have 2 years work experience. Okay, I did not know that. So if you are here and you're planning on applying for Chevening and you don't have that, you should first start working on that. Okay. There's leadership skills needed.
Albert,
Mute.
your mic is off.
Oh, thank you. I was been ranting and ranting on from my own. Okay. So what I was saying is thank you everyone that has spoken. There is a whole book of knowledge. Why does it keep getting off? I don't know why it keeps going off. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's okay.
Hmm. Okay. So um thank you once again. I wanted to just give a quick recap from what I've learned so far. I'm going to give maybe two points from what I've gotten from each of the speakers. Then I have a few questions that I've written down. If you have any questions, simply type it in the chat, and I'll read it out. Or you raise your hand, and then we call on you, and then you you ask your questions directly. You can direct your question to a particular speaker, or you ask a general question, and then one of our speakers answer you. Okay. So from the first speaker, Azmina, two things. two important things I picked is that you need 2 years work experience to apply for
Yeah.
Chevening. Yeah. So I did not know that. So if you are here in this call and you are hoping to apply for Chevening Scholarship in the UK and you don't have 2 years working experience, I think that should be the first thing that you focus on for now. All right. Go out there and get experience, get a job or an internship in your field to give you that work experience. And then another thing, uh, is talked about using professional academic networking skills. You should show your academic or professional networking skills. And then those skills should not only, those networking opportunities that you've had should not only benefit you, but benefit others. Okay, she talked about how how you struggled or whether you did not struggle to meet a particular person that you wanted to meet. And after meeting that person, how did that affect your life personally? And then how did it also affect other people's lives? Okay, I think those are powerful things that I got from her. Soumia mentioned our essays must be structured because a lot of people don't respect structure. Just they just make it like a generic CV. So she mentioned that you need to reflect on your experiences and the things that you've done and how it affects you currently and how it's affecting the future. How it's going to affect your future. Okay, that's number one thing. I have like 15 things that I've jotted here, but I think that was very important because um, I believe I am also part of those that have made that error in the past of just stating my achievements and then calling it an essay. Okay, so we'll do better. And then, most importantly, she mentioned do not use AI or ChatGPT for your essays, right? So if you are here and you're planning on using AI or ChatGPT, please don't. It's obvious. It's only going to only going to use that to shoot yourself in the foot. So use your brain. That is how they know that you are capable of what you say you are capable of. Ahmed mentioned a lot of things as well. Okay, so key thing that he said that stuck with me is that for the first two stages, you don't need TOEFL or IELTS. Okay, you don't need the English language certification to pass the first two stages of application, and you only need it the third stage, which is for university applications. So most universities in the UK want to know that you understand English and you can study in English. Okay. So if you are here and then one of the excuse, because our brains always try to find excuses to stop us from achieving our goals, because we don't want that feeling of failing. So slightest chance of an excuse, we pick it and then use it as a reason for why we did not chase our dreams. If you are among the people here and your excuse is that you don't have English certification, please know that for Chevening Scholarship, it is not uh, required for at least for the first two stages. Okay. Um. Okay. He talked about not writing abstracts. Be specific in what you are writing. Don't just say I had a leadership skill when I was working in social place. I was a group leader for this. No. What did you achieve as a leader? He mentioned he talked about being specific when you are writing your interviews. And the most important is, sorry, I'm going to use 3 points here. He said practice. I've written it here. Practice, practice, practice. Practice your interviews. Practice with your friends, practice with your family, and then practice with alumni scholars or people currently on the scholarship that can help you. Okay? Hope I'm still audible and you guys are taking notes. Adamada, Adamada's first point was why do you want to study abroad? Okay, I strongly I like that particular aspect where he spoke there because a lot of us don't even know why we are chasing our dreams. All right, and the key, how will I call it? What actually makes you succeed in whatever you do is not just scholarship. Actually, anything that you want to succeed in is why you want to do it. You need to know it. That why, that reason that you want to do something is what will drive you to actually do it well, to actually pursue it right. Okay, so that's one of the things he talked about. And then he said, know the cost implications. If you want to relocate, especially know the cost implications. It might not be financially, but There are other costs. It doesn't have to be finances. To know exactly what you are giving up and exactly what you are gaining, then weigh your options, and then decide if it is actually worth taking that move, making that move. All right. So those are the two things that two main things that I picked from Adamada. And Victor spoke about Mastercard Foundations scholarship. He listed a lot of things that you get as a scholar. All right. You have the entrepreneurship opportunities, leadership opportunities, community activities, and a lot of things. Okay, but one of the things I really picked up here is that your story is more important than your grade. Okay, this I'm paraphrasing, but he mentioned something like that. That your story is more important. How do you tell your story? You might be a first class student or a first class graduate rather, and you will still not secure a scholarship if you did not tell your story correctly. Those are the things that I picked. Okay. Are you guys hearing me? Can someone hear me? If you have any question, you can unmute your mic and or raise your hand so that we do not be rowdy. Raise your hand and we'll allow you to unmute your mic. Then you can talk. Okay. Allow me, Emmanuel. You can start.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I really gain a lot from the session of all the speaker. I truly appreciate all their efforts and also the knowledge that they gave us this evening. So my question is, I wanted to ask concerning um, the international passport and visa. Like for someone now that is yet to get his international passport, is it possible that I can still go on applying, although your international passport is in progress, so you applied for it already? So is it advisable that when you see scholarship opportunities that you should go ahead and apply? Or I wanted to know if they will begin to ask for that information at the initial stage, that is for your international passport and all of that.
Okay. For the asking whether in the beginning of the stages, I wouldn't know that. But since we have people that have forgotten that, maybe you can help us answer that. Tasmina, are you there? If you can, in
Yeah.
Chevening, does Chevening require that immediately at the start, or how does
Okay,
it work?
initially you do not need to have your passport when you're applying for the scholarship, but I would
Okay.
say that it's always better to have it because since if you'll get involved in this continuous rigorous process like me, when I had my first passport when I intended to apply for Chevening. So it's not an initial requirement, but it's better to have it.
Victor, what about Mastercard? Is there an initial requirement?
No, it's not an initial requirement, but it's nice to have it at hand. It's not. Thank you.
Okay. I think we still have Adamada. Your scholarship is also different. Is it an initial requirement from yours?
No, from Ajib, they don't require it, partly because you write an exam first. You pass the exam, then before they talk about your admission and those are. But I would say it limits your opportunities. Lack of passport limits your opportunities. Polish government scholarship, the one I applied, you need it during application. Many other scholarships I applied, you can't apply them without passport number. They just require the passport number, even if it's expired. So without that, you will not pass that stage. So without it, you can get some opportunities. Some opportunities will miss you.
Allow me. I hope that answers your question. It's not necessarily an initial requirement for some of the scholarship, but like they said, it is always best to have it at hand. From what I understand from your end, you have already applied for it and is in progress. So you can go ahead and start making your scholarship applications while you wait for your passport to be ready. Okay,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
thank you. Any other person have a question? You can raise your hand. Okay. If nobody else has a question, or if you are still thinking about your question, I have two questions.
I have a question, sir.
Okay, who is speaking? Monday.
Yes, sir. Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Solomon Ojima. So, it's a privilege to have two of my seniors from Footy here. So, Mr. Joel and Mr. Victor. So, basically, I my question is directed to Mr. Joel, who mentioned there are some cost implications for relocating. So, I'll be glad if you can give maybe a typical example to to enlighten us more on that. And also, like the Mastercard Mr. Victor spoke about earlier, I gave a short, the one at McGill last year. Though I learned sometimes their process is quite intense because at the end of the whole application cycle, it might be 10 people they are picking, and it's not all the slots that go to Nigeria because it has to cover African countries that are listed on their website. So, like, what do you do additionally? Because I, apart from the academics and all of that, everybody will have to tell such story, and I feel you can be good, but there are people out there that can also do better things or that have had different kind of experience that will stand them apart. So, like, I feel there's something different, like entirely apart from the things we've been hearing on this program. So I don't know if you can share more
Uh,
about that. Thank you.
if I understand your question, you want to know two things. How do you stand out exactly from the rest? And then the cost implications that Adamada mentioned. Before I hand over the mic to Adamada to address that, I think one of our speakers, Ahmed, mentioned that you should believe that you can get it even on your first try. You should not limit yourself. You should not have this thought that I wouldn't be able to get. I think that he mentioned something like that. So I also re-emphasize that I believe what you believe works for you. That is how that's a law in the universe. Okay, what you really believe, it's easier for you to achieve something you believe than what you don't believe. So if you're having doubts that I might not be good enough, it might you might not notice it, but it might be limiting your abilities. So first of all, believe that you are part of that 1% that will get. If only 10 people will get, you'll be the first to get. Have that belief first. And Adamada, if you can please explain to us how do you think we can stand out, and then what are the costs that you mentioned?
Yeah, nice meeting you, Monday. I think let me start by saying most times because people trying to go abroad are focused on the career career progression and monetary progression that they forget the other qualitative cost that comes with relocating. So some of them, for instance, is relationships, how you will fare away from your family, away from your loved ones, and all those things. You need to factor from being an African mostly with connected roots, extended family, loving people around, to being a one-man squad, one way of life with no much people. So don't think that is just a negligible part of it. Many people underestimate that kind of thing until they land and they discovered in just 6 months or so they were not as strong as they think they are to navigate the system alone. If care is not taken, you will slide into depression. And many have died in the UK in the past 3 years that I've been here, and only their corpse was found in the house 3, 4, 5 days later. So you need to count the cost of that. You need to count the cost also of your plans in case your plans doesn't go as it is, especially regarding instability in visas and governments. People who were stable around October in the US, with just one announcement, the whole world of so many people was crumbling because one announcement about visas increase to $100,000 per year sponsorship changed the dynamics of US immigration. So you need to account for immigration instability. What is the impact of immigration instability, change in government? What will happen to my future? How can I be able to stand alone? If you have a family, it becomes a bigger thing. If you're married, it becomes a bigger thing that you need to account for. If you're alone, you will say, okay, I can be able to navigate. But if I have a wife and a kid, how do I plan for such occurrences? So you also need to plan in terms of how will academic challenge impact my journey. Some people just think it's easier abroad, the access, the Wi-Fi, and everything. There's so many people have spent years and years and they could not finish their studies. And not finishing your studies means not having visa ship to stay, and so many limitations here and there. So you need to count the cost about, yeah, instability, government changes, family relationship wise, all those things, so that will help you navigate the system. Let me just leave the second aspect to Victor to answer the question.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, Monday, the cost, some of the cost is can be emotional. A fundamental human need is the need to feel among, need to feel surrounded by a community. And if you are going to a foreign land, it might take some time to actually adjust and create a new community. And there's also a chance it might never even happen. Like you said, some people were found dead. I believe they were struggling and unable to create that community, which isolated them. You know, one of the reasons why jail time is one of the major punishments for crime is because it is fundamentally in our DNA. The need to feel connected to other human beings that we connect with. Okay, and then so that's why if you commit any crime, they isolate you from your community, isolate you from your family, and it's a form of punishment. Okay, so if you are going abroad, just know that that sense might be there, that you are losing something. Okay, I think that's the point he's trying to make. Victor, since he talked about applying to Mastercard, please keep it in between 1 minute. Our time is running out. Just 1 or 2 minutes. Tell us, how can we stand out, especially if we're applying to Mastercard Foundation? How do we stand out?
Okay. So the first thing I will tell you is know the university you're applying to. I know you mentioned McGill's University right now. That university said if you really want to have a good chance, you need to have a first class, which is not the same thing with the school I went to, nor is it the same thing with Cape Town, University of Cape Town. So you might need to consider those specific requirements that the university is looking for. Another thing also, if you want to stand out, is your community service. It's very important. Like it's huge. They are huge on that. Every institution across the continent, across the world, that's offering the scholars program needs that in your application. So you may want to be more specific in how you've contributed to your community, your leadership experience in school, all these little clubs you've, played a role in. You might want to incorporate that so that your application can start that a lot. Don't just put that, okay, I got 5.0 in this. No, no, don't do that alone. Please make sure you incorporate those little things that they're looking for. It's very, very important. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Solomon, I believe your question has been answered. Focus on the tiny things that people tend to know. Okay, I think it's not just in scholarship application, even your workplace. Attention to details is a very big quality that takes you ahead in life. So, if how will I say, have your attention not just on the big things, but also on the small things. The tiny details also matter. So in your application, make sure to include them. Okay, I'll quickly. Are you okay? Are you listening to us? Have you gotten the value from your answer?
Hello. Yes, I have. I will intensify effort towards that. Thank you.
Okay. I have questions for each of the what do you call it? Also the speakers. So I'll start with Adamada. Um, since our time is almost up, anyways. So I have a question for you, Adamada. What if I have to? Because you talked about get a strong academic background. Okay, that's one of the things you mentioned in your presentation. So I want to know, does that mean if I have a second class lower or a third class, I wouldn't be able to get scholarship, or is it just that it makes it more difficult for me? What do you have to say on that? Also, before you answer, what, for example, someone has a 2-1 in that's second class upper, for those that don't understand, in your first degree, and then has done a second degree and has a strong GP. Now we equate to a 2-1 as well, maybe a 4.1, 4.2 thereabout, and wants to apply for a master's. Does the extra academic achievement as the MSc, does it boost the requirement, or it does not really matter? It does not really count.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think I might need to drop off, so I'll start this and go. So, for I think for a third class, it's actually extremely difficult to get a scholarship. But we have seen cases of 2-2 getting scholarships in the US across different countries. I've seen 2-2, but I have not seen third class. So I would say it's extremely difficult for a third class degree. But for a two, even for a 2-2, the profile of people that got scholarship is 2-2. It's beyond the 2-2. They have been able to cover for that deficiency, many of them through certifications, internships, experiences with big organizations, multinationals, corporates, and they're able to evidence that they have moved farther away from that. And that has helped them achieve scholarships with 2-2, even direct PhDs to the US, many of them. So is it impossible? It is not impossible with 2-2 to 1 above. For third class, to be honest, I have not seen any third class secure a scholarship, funded scholarship abroad. So I might be wrong, but it's difficult with that kind of class of degree. And in terms of second aspect of your question, can you remind me? You said,
Okay, if I have a 2-2, for example, or a third class in my first degree, and then I went ahead to do a second degree,
yeah,
that's
okay,
a master's, and I got a good result, like a 4.1 or 4.2
yeah,
out of
yeah.
5, does that boost what I lost in my first degree, or does it not
It
count?
depends. It depends on the scholarship. It depends. To be honest with you, many scholarships bank on the strength of your first degree. Many
Wow.
bank on
Okay.
the strength of your first degree. So, but for others, like if you're focusing on masters alone, some consider just your overall entire academics. If you're able to evidence in your personal statement or statement of purpose some situations that might have caused you to underperform in your undergrad and perform well in your graduate program. For instance, they usually consider your situation. So that's why sometimes when you're feeling, they said, "Are you the first generation in your to attend university? Did your parents attend university?" Some companies, some organizations consider those kind of factors if you're a first generation to do that. So that can help you. So that's why I say it depends. But for other applications that you apply and they say strictly that other postgraduate certificates are not a requirement, then you know they are going to bank solely on your first degree. I've applied for other PhDs currently because I might want to go back to school. I've applied for those PhD positions and they said my master's is not even a requirement. In fact, there's no place for me to upload the master's. So you see, yeah, those kind of situations, irrespective of what you did in your master's, the application process at all has been made just for you to submit your undergrad. So it depends on how you look at it. But if it has already happened, then you don't have a choice but to bank on your master's and try to apply where that can give you an advantage. But if you have any younger people on undergrads, please encourage them to aim for at least 2-1 to graduate with it. That will help them a lot. Sorry, I had to drop off to do something going
Thank you
out.
so
But
much.
it's been a pleasure. Thank
You
you
are
very
you are
much.
free to go. I will get in touch with you so that
Yeah,
we'll ask one or two more things so that we'll help the community at large.
yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. And before you go, please let
Yeah,
know that this call has been recorded and we
yeah,
might be posting, some clips here and there on our social handle so that it
no
will not
problem.
take you by surprise. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you
care.
so much. Have a good day.
Bye.
Okay. So I'll quickly go through our questions for our speakers. I have two for each. Ahmed and Tasmina, please, I will direct one each of the two I have for Soumia so that you guys can answer. So I'm going to start with Tasmina. All
Okay.
right. My number
Yeah.
one question for you. You talked about researching the school and then talking about the school and the professors. Can you throw more light on that? What exactly do I say about the professor in my personal statement or in my essay?
Okay, so first, it's they talk about that why do you want to study in the UK? So you have to be very precise that, like I said, that you just cannot generalize that, like Soumya said that I want to study there and do things. No. When you show them that, you have did your research, for example, you have gone to the websites of the schools and you check for the courses. For example, I'm doing LLM. So I went to LSE's website and I look for the whole modules what I'm going to study. And then you have to specifically choose your specialized courses, like which courses, because there could be plenty of courses that you might not be interested in and that might not link to your course. You have to stick with your courses as well that you want to study and that you want to tell the panel that I'm interested in these courses. And then, for example, a particular area for me was data protection. For the architecture, it might be some other thing. So for that, you'll also have to see that, in that particular school, for example, at LSE, who is the best professor who's teaching the data protection. So, I want to tell them that, oh, I want to study from Damien Clifford because he has held some research papers, and I think by studying them, I can get the enriched experience. I can then use that experience to help Pakistan prosper, do things that I wanted Pakistan to do. Because now, initially, when I do not have the masters, I do not have the skills. Now I have the skills. Now I know the things that I did not know initially. So this is the thing that I know now, and I want to go back and implement it. Link everything that you have to go back to Pakistan or whichever country you are from and do what Chevening wants you to do.
Okay, thank you so much for that. My second question for you, you said networking should not benefit only yourself, but others, and how it will benefit Chevening. Can you give us an example on what that means? Because personally, I'm an entrepreneur. I I generally make it a rule of thumb that in a week I should at least get five new people's contacts. My belief is they might not be interested in my business immediately, but as time goes on and they see who I am, they see the authenticity of what I do, they buy in. But this whole thing I just described now is strictly benefiting me and my company only. It does not benefit any other person. So how do I turn that around to benefit others to suit this scholarship application, for example?
Right, very nice question. So here, what you can do is that, for example, here networking is about, what only benefited you. Here, you are benefiting yourself by doing business, by taking people advantage from this. But how people can benefit, you can tell them that, I have done free seminars for them. I have done free webinars for them. And today we had, like, for example, 25 participants. And then we had, I assembled a lot of the scholars and at one platform. A lot of the scholars talked about what the applicants needed to know about the things. And together we were able to enrich these amount of people. So my platform that just benefited me has also benefited the society in large. And it should not be something that is materialistic. You did it for free. Here people are learning for free. So this is how you can mold your application that, for example, I entered the law firm. It was my benefit. So how I turned this into the benefit of the larger community, because again, I did platform, I did webinars where a lot of the people had the questions. They wanted to be corporate lawyers, but they did not know how to be the one. So by resolving the conflicts, and then you can also show the exact number that, by that, for example, today we have 25 participants. Five might be able to achieve something by taking this seminar. So, this is the result. So this is how you can approach this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So those are the two questions I have for you. Please just stay there. Let me ask you one of the questions I had for Soumia, since you guys are on the same scholarship. I had two questions written down for her as well. I'll ask you
Okay.
one, and then I'll pass the other to Ahmed. Okay, so the question I have here is, what if my write-up is 100 characters? Because she talked about respecting the character limit. And she said some years is 500, some years is 300. Like this year, it was 300. So if the character limit is 300 and I end up writing just 100 characters, is that bad? Is there like a lower limit to make me stand out? Or do I aim to hit that 300 at the dot? So, what do you have to say on
Okay.
that?
So here we have to see that, the Chevening knows that how many characters it should be. For example, initially it was 500. So what people used to use examples like I use three examples. Now they have limited that because they just want to see one example that can fulfill everything. So if someone wants to write 100 character, I don't think so that it can justify the answer. Yeah, there could be possibility that 250 characters might justify the answer, and there's no such limit, but 100 is very unjustifiable. You can, like, maximum capacity, like the maximum word limit is 300 character, but it can be lower than that, but it shouldn't be something that where you will not be able to tell your story.
Okay, so the goal is to actually tell the story regardless of the characters. And from your opinion,
Exactly.
100 characters might not be able to do justice to that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead. Ahmed, are you still with us? You're with us, you can unmute
Yeah,
and
yeah,
on
go
your
on.
camera. Okay, so I have two questions for you as well. Number one, um, you talked about English proficiency, TOEFL, IELTS, that is not needed for the first two stages, only on the third stage. And the third stage you said is mainly for school admissions. Okay, personally, I have secured school admissions in the UK, like the University of Derby, Manchester School of Architecture, and I can't really tell, but I've secured at least five admissions, and I
Mhm.
don't have the TOEFL or the IELTS, and I think it's because those schools accept WAEC is an exam, is an examination we do after high school here in Nigeria. They accept it as a proof of English proficiency because English is actually mandatory in that particular examination. So, my question to you, is it the English requirement you talked about is strictly for getting admission? So if we have exceptions such as us Nigerians have, it means we don't really need to sit for the TOEFL or the IELTS. Is that what you're saying? Or there's actually a need for that somewhere else?
Well, the truth is that these kind of requirements they differ case by case, and you have to check with regard to your country. So basically, when you go and check out the website of that specific course, in the website they have a part like language requirements, and when you go there, they have separated every country's requirements, so you can go and see it. For example, Nigeria or any other country, what are the English or language requirements for that country? Do
Okay.
they accept the IELTS or TOEFL uh, just, or they will accept any kind of some certificate proficiency for your from your school or any other national exam? So you have to check that because it differs
Mm,
case by case, and they have a very organized set of database for every country.
okay. Thank you so much. Number two question I have, I'm trying to rush so that we'll wrap up.
Mhm.
Would you be open to hosting mock interviews? You talked about practicing and practicing and practicing. You say practice with friends, practice with family, and with scholars. So,
And with
is
colleagues.
yes, and with colleagues. So, is this something you'll be open
Yeah.
to doing if we are to organize like a mock interview session with you with our community? Is that something you'll be open to
Yeah,
assist
yeah,
us?
I would like to because after 2 or 3 months, the first round of the Chevening Scholarship shortlisted shortlists will be announced. So they'll have to go for the second round. So I'll be very happy to contribute and have the contribution. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for that. The second question I had for Soumia, I'm gonna share it with you so you can help us answer. Because it also relates to this mock interview, so I feel like you've been the best person to answer. He also mentioned that interview. She said the interview is about 30% of the journey. 70% of it is done before the interview. Like she said, she didn't even have time to prepare very well, but she still secured the scholarship with minimal effort because it is simple questions, just maybe one-on-one interview. So my question here is like, can you list one or two questions that we can expect in the interview? Like, what do they ask exactly? Is it like a job interview? Like, can you just give us a hint on what it's like?
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Wilson. It's a nice question because usually the interview for shifting is quite different from job interviews. So most of the time, especially for my case, they did not even ask me for any introduction because they have all my some of my details in front of them. So they just directly asked me about my leadership example. And the questions that they will ask is structured as well. So there are main four questions that they will ask from every single applicant. For example, the first one, could you tell me more about your leadership example? That's the first. The second thing is that can you tell us somehow uh, in details about your networking skills, or why did you choose these universities, and what are your midterm goals or long-term goals? So these are the four general questions that they will ask every single applicant. Then there might be some kind of follow-up questions that they want to challenge you, and they want to check if you are the person who have written those essays or not, because they might ask some kind of somehow question that they will them a clue that it is you, not anyone else.
Okay, okay. So they'll ask you a personalized question to ensure you are the one that actually wrote your essay and you didn't just copy it of someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ahmed. There is a lot of things I have picked up from having you here, and I really appreciate. And I'm sure other people on the call also appreciate. Okay, so I'm gonna ask Victor, your last speaker. I'm gonna ask you your questions, two questions, and then uh we call it a day. Okay. Adam mentioned that we should know a reason. Excuse me. We should have a reason for studying abroad. Is it for relocation or just studies? So my question to you: does Mastercard Foundation Scholarship support those that want to relocate and not just to study? Is that something? Can we use the Mastercard Foundation as a route to relocate for those that are interested in that, or are people like me that just want to go and study and come back? Is it just for people like us? Is that the best option for us? Over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So this question I've been asked before, and a friend of mine that also got the same scholarship answered it. So I'll just use our response to say, so it depends on the country. In South Africa right now, if you go to the University of Cape Town, once you're done, you are going to be asked to leave the country immediately. You cannot spend an extra day, if not, they will arrest you. But in Science Pool, the scholars program, they allows you an extra year to kind of look for a job and work visa so you can stay in their country. So it varies depending on the country. Just do your research very well, and you should be fine.
Okay, that's a straightforward answer. Thank you so much for that. Um, my second question, you talked about researching the particular institute. You talked about giving in intent details in your essays, and you also mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, you exactly mentioned that you can mention an A that you got in a specific course in your essay. Uh, my question now is, what if I have a lot of A's, or they say, how do I choose the exact course to talk about in my essay that will make me stand out? Is that like a rule of thumb to kind of uh, course I should mention? Because me, from my own understanding, while you were talking, I was thinking, for example, if I want to study sustainability in architecture, like Ahmed is doing, this we have a course in our undergraduate studies which is sustainability in architecture, and even the master's program that I'm doing here in Nigeria, we have a course sustainability in architecture. So I believe mentioning that will give me an upper hand. But I want to hear from your mouth. Is that what you meant by that, or I can just mention maybe anything that I'm strong at?
Yeah, I think you already answered the question. So basically,
Okay.
it's to mention the course that relates to what you want to do. If
Okay.
you want to go into mathematical sciences, you mention abstract algebra, all those courses that gives you a boost. You don't just go and mention GST 101, maybe like introduction to English language. Now, that's not really that relevant. So basically, just mention something that relates to what you're applying to. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. I want to give you an extra bonus question before we close. You talked about an entrepreneurship program that Mastercard Foundation is doing. Can you use 1 minute and tell us more about that? 1 minute, please.
Okay, so the program starts from the scholarship. So while you're having your scholarship, you get introduced to courses. These are like extra courses, entrepreneurship development, personal development, professional development. So you get some trainings in that. And when you are done, there are also other programs. Just like I mentioned, the scholars program, we have other programs as well. These particular programs can be a fundraising program where you apply to, they train you. If you have a business idea that you want to implement, they train you on how to, shaping and structure those business idea, and they end up giving you funding to start that business. So they have that program in store for their scholars, alumni.
Okay. Thank you so much. Uh, I appreciate each and every one of us that made it date with us. Thank you for coming, for our speakers. We appreciate you. We had a whole lot of knowledge that was shared in this meeting. If you came in late, you really, really missed a lot. And if you were here on time, I know that you've gotten a lot of value from what we discussed. Okay, we had a few people here. We have Tasmeena. She's still on the call. Thank you so much, Tasmeena, for gracing us with your presence, for all the knowledge you have shared. Um, we don't take it for granted. We really, really appreciate you making that time to be here and to share what you know. We also had Ahmed. Ahmed, I appreciate you. You know. By the way, before we go, all these people except for Victor and Adamada, whom I know personally from my undergraduate days, these scholars that I have here, I actually met them online. I just reached out to them and they happily agreed to come and share their knowledge with us. So I don't take your sacrifice or you trusting me to come here for granted. I really, really appreciate it. And I do hope that as you are giving back to the community, the universe will give back to you as well in ways you don't expect. Victor, we also appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. I don't take it for granted. All right. I really appreciate it. Damada he had to leave just now. He was here. I'm gonna extend my gratitude to him as well. And we got a lot of knowledge. He gave us knowledge on general um, application to scholarship. So we appreciate that. And Soumia, this I am gonna reach out to her and give her a lot of appreciation because when we first started this journey, she's the first person I actually reached out to, and she was so excited. She even called me by herself and wanted to hear from me and just wanted to know what the program is about. She had so much excitement, and then she called me yesterday to tell me that she has been battling with her colleagues to postpone a meeting she had by 4 so that she can be here all through. But unfortunately, she couldn't because one person cannot decide for the group. It was He felt sad that she had to leave early, so I apologize on her behalf, and I also appreciate that she still squeezed that time to come and speak to us before going to attend to other things. Okay, I remain Athanasius Manji Albert. I'm a co-founder in AV Express Placement Limited. Like I said, we help people write their personal statements. We help people secure admissions, especially in the UK, the US, and the rest. You can reach out to me if you have any such request. And we are going to be hosting this kind of free event at least 2 or 3 times in a year. Okay, because I believe there is so much that many of us that are looking for scholarship that have not gotten. There's so many things that we don't know that these people that have actually secured it will be able to tell us. I have 3 other people that are currently on ground from 3 different scholarships. People that are currently on scholarships, 3 different scholarships. They are ready to speak in our next event, and hopefully, our speakers from this event will still be willing to come back again to drop more knowledge for us. So stay tuned on our community. If you're not on our WhatsApp group, you can just reach out to me and stay tuned there, and you'll get information on the new events. Okay, sorry. Before I go, I have one question on the chat. It says, Ahmed, I'm gonna just direct this to you so that you just answer and then we'll go. No more waiting
Yeah.
again. The question says, if someone has health issues or disability, is it encouraging to mention it in a personal statement or not? Does you mentioning that reduce your chances or increase your chances, or it doesn't affect anything?
Well, regarding the countries, especially European countries and the UK, no, it won't affect your case in a negative way because they have much appreciation and respect to disabled people or the people who have health problems, uh, those who have the courage and wants to achieve their goals. So they are very welcoming in that sense. So try to state that, and it will be a very good source of inspiration for them because they will see that a person who has these problems still wants to achieve their goals. So that's a good point, and you should be proud of yourself, not thinking that in the other way around.
Yeah, fantastic. So thank you for that. I hope PK, however you are, I hope you are still on the call, and I hope you have gotten the response to your question. Okay, without more dragging, I appreciate everybody. Those of us that are here, I see Abubakar, see Frank, I see Peter. I can't mention all of us, but I see a lot of people. We had over 30 people at some point, and then towards the end, people started dropping. We have 20 people still here. They are all appreciated for being here. You are the reason we are here. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful night, or a wonderful morning, whatever your time is at your end. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, guys. Bye.